We're live.
No, we're not.
It's a little thing there.
Oh, damn it.
It totally is.
It skipped 5 seconds. We're so stupid.
We're still learning how to do this crap.
Plus, my computer's old and really slow, so it kind of sucks. Anyways, welcome back to another video review of toavoidfainting.blogspot.com. Remember Chris?
Chris, how you doing with
Stacy, as always, here, watching the good and the bad for you. And today we've got somewhat of a bad one.
Well, good and better all very subjective.
Chris is the positive one here, even though he didn't like it either. But
don't go into the woods, kids. Don't go into the woods, especially if Vincent D'onofrio's taking you.
Yes, we decided to sit down and watch Don't Go Into the Woods,
his directorial debut.
And yeah, directed by Vincent D'onofrio in 2010, and we saw it on Netflix.
First thing, we decided to see this because we love Vincent D'onofrio.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We love. Let us preface
Vincent
that by
D'Onofrio.
saying yes, we love Vincent D'onofrio. He's quirky and he's insane.
I think he really throws himself into whatever role he's doing.
I just think he's playing himself. I think he's just playing himself.
He's not even an actor.
Like I said, like Matthew McConaughey and who was the other wackadoo? I don't remember. But like, yeah, they're just like, I feel like they're all fucking just playing themselves. Yeah, that guy too. Yeah, so we saw it on. I had it in my queue on Netflix for like the last year maybe, and it had 1 star, and I've learned to never trust Netflix ratings, reviews, or anything because it's usually just crazy people. And it's like, we might just stumble on something really amazing. Had never heard. Yes, product placement in case Shiner wants to sponsor us at any point. Yeah, and so I was like, we might have stumbled onto a gem here. It's Vincent D'onofrio. Let's do this. And we didn't stumble onto a gem.
Well, we stumbled onto something. First off, we did a little bit of research into this. We usually try not to do too much look into the back of a movie. Just to kind of
we did very minimal research, like IMDb and stuff.
Small budget, micro budget.
$100,000
allegedly
shot in 12 days, and it was very, very obvious that it was shot in 12 days.
I saw a little blurb after we finished watching it today, and it said they were looking to make the B quality grade video. So the first thing you said when we started watching it was the video looked crappy.
Yeah, it was really choppy, and it looked like
low quality camera.
Like you had a pretty crappy, signal,
Wi-Fi signal going. A GoPro looks better than
that
one does. It opened up with these kids band.
An indie band. Yes, the movie is about an indie band that goes into the woods naturally to work on an album.
To create.
Because that's the fucking
one
place you want to go to, right? A bunch of dorks who were obviously also very not properly equipped with anything that they needed to take with them if you were going to be in the woods recording an album, which is the weirdest place to record one. Okay, it's fine. I get it. It's indie, it's hipster stuff, whatever. I get it. And then people start dying and stuff.
No, that's not what happens.
And then, I was given and
then nothing happens
the
for
bio.
a long time.
I was given the Netflix bio, right? So D'onofrio had said in an article that I read that he came up with a concept for a slasher musical. And I was like, okay, well, didn't Stage Fright do that already? No big deal, whatever. I'd never even seen it, so I don't care. But I was like, okay, let's see what I'm like, what does D'onofrio have to do with music? Why would he want to do something with music? When I stumbled upon Geronimo Jerky, who is D'onofrio's alter ego. Country western
singer. Do yourself
singer.
A favor and YouTube Vincent D'onofrio,
and it's absolutely
Geronimo Jerky.
As batshit crazy as you would imagine it would be. And so, yeah.
Garth Brooks ain't got nothing.
I'm going to say that, yeah.
D'onofrio as far as alter egos go. But we're digressing.
Yeah, sorry. We love D'onofrio. So.
The film is, you cannot, any kind of, be as nice as you can't say it has a good pace. It's a very, very dragged out pace.
Yes, it was what, an hour 20?
It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Hour 20 minutes.
82 minutes or 84 minutes.
And we could have sworn that there was a weird, what did you say, time bend? Because it felt like 2.5 hours had passed before the movie finally ended. I was like, something's wrong here.
So we're watching the Roots collection?
The clocks are all the same here in my house, but I feel like we spent the entire day doing this.
Dragged. The film did drag.
Horrible pacing.
A lot of that, I think, is to showcase the music, which was not bad at all.
No, the music was actually really good. And that's probably the only positive thing I have to say about it, is that the music was really good. The musicians were actually singing and playing the music.
Sam Bisbee is the creator of the music. Of course, they're the performers or the actors.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's not true. They're not actually actors.
No, they're not actors.
Well, they're acting in a film, but they're not professional actors by any stretch of the imagination.
So they perform the music.
And that shows a lot, especially in their dialogue.
Yeah.
Which is very forced, very unnatural. Even their physical motion. We talked about when they were horse playing.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, man. Get the fuck off
script
me.
says horseplay.
Yeah, just do whatever you want to do.
It was not.
They kind of, I feel like there was maybe a lot of improv. Might have been.
Just maybe a loose script.
Yeah. And
there really wasn't a lot of dialogue in the film. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think about it, you could probably have everyone's dialogue in 10 or 20 pages.
There was probably about total, out of the 84 minutes, there was probably about a whole hour of just fucking songs.
Yeah, probably a solid hour of music.
Like, you're like, okay, musical, you're like...
A little bit late, 45 minutes.
A movie, musical, whatever, you watch it, and you're like, okay, somebody performs a song, wonderful, and then you have a good 20 minutes of story, of acting and story, and then a song. This was, they finished singing the song, they looked at the other person started singing. They finished their song, another song started, and then we counted 4 songs in a row.
It went the middle section.
Yes, and I mean to the point where I was just
almost 15 minutes of straight music.
I'm bored. Yeah, and I mean, but good songs. But I'm like, okay, well, where's my slashing? When are people gonna start dying?
And there was a little bit of exposition through song too.
Yeah,
about a quarter, maybe a third of the songs were giving a little bit of backstory or showing people's feeling.
Yeah,
what's happening moment. And that's gonna be in a musical anyway. That Les Mis is all exposition and music.
Yeah, but this is
not Les Mis.
Les Mis, this is not.
There was one thing that one of the things I noticed, the sound design outside the music was very, very classic horror.
Yeah.
A lot of that 70s electric sound to it.
Yeah, the synth and stuff like that.
So that was kind of a little flashback to it. Characters were very flat. There was no real depth to them.
Yeah.
A little bit, tiny bit with the main Nick guy, our main character.
Yeah.
A little bit, but not hardly.
Yeah, but he was always like, on a branch somewhere singing by himself, and like he looked like a creepier Elijah Wood, if that's even possible.
Tall Elijah Wood.
Real thin lips, so I just wanted to punch him a lot. Just
punchable faces.
Very punchable face. Real whiny, voice. Like you were like, okay, maybe in 2001 this would have been, fucking fueled by ramen. Like they would have loved it. Would have been touring with the Academy or something. But like, yeah, it was just a little annoying.
One thing I couldn't put any kind of sense to, and I've thought about it, the hunters in the woods. I didn't see a point for them being there.
Yeah, some hunters popped out for a second, and you thought, oh, maybe they're... And then
the only point I see of them is to mislead you to think who the killers are.
But even then, it wasn't that good.
No, it was
not like... You totally forgot about them afterwards,
Well, no, I couldn't forget about them, because you saw references
I was like,
to them.
Oh, shit, I don't...
Well, you were bored.
Yeah, I was horrifically bored.
But yeah, you see them at the very beginning of the film, when they're walking to the guy just sitting in the woods. And then you see them a couple more times, and then they have a confrontation for about a minute with hardly any dialogue.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of a veiled threat, something. And then we see them stand with some of their equipment left over, and we never go back to them.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about the hunting shack, which is you could assume the hunters would probably use it once. No reason for them to be there, aside from a kind of ham-handed distraction, trying to get you to think, oh, it's going to be them, obviously.
It just felt like some bad filler, you know. Bad filler, not good, trying to mislead you and stuff.
The film goes about 90% through with music and a little dialogue, not great dialogue, but dialogue, and trees.
Yeah.
The location itself was really fitting for a wood slasher flick.
Yeah, it was great.
Really well. A lot of dense foliage, creepy feel to it.
But then, when people were dying, it was like you didn't see much. It
was
very
dramatic tension.
Quick, and that was it.
And no dramatic tension.
And you get to the climax, you get to the end, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And that was it. And then we were like, wow.
I think the hunters supposed to make you, oh, it's a twist. But it just not.
It does not feel like a twist, and it wasn't a very good one. Like, at all.
Maybe a heavy message or two hidden in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Selling out or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so out of 5, what would you give it?
I love Vincent D'onofrio. Okay. Very much. And for that, I give it 1 out of 5 stars.
Because he had his name on it. I absolutely agree. I would give it a 1 out of 5. I would never own it on DVD. I would never watch it again. I would never suggest anyone watch it. I do not recommend that anyone view this movie.
I would recommend someone see this and say, okay, you want to make your first film and you have $15,000. Look at this. Can you do better than this? And if you can be a filmmaker.
Exactly. That being said, we're going to
conclude
watching this review because I feel like we can't give this any more time. You know, I feel bad.
We spent 10 minutes and that was a long time.
That was a little bit too long. But yes, to avoid fainting.blogspot.com. Stacy, Chris, follow us on Twitter at TheStacyBeth.
And Wicked Chris at twitter.com.
WICKD.
WICKD. There's no E in there. Chris.
And there you go.